Okay. Yes, we were late. We were very late. It's 3 minutes past. We've got people though. Um, oh yeah, I was delivering presents, and I didn't
Oh,
realise
well,
that the time had gotten away with me.
it's not Santa Claus. Little Father Christmas action.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. Um, I believe that the my name is Papa Keith. Is that's the nickname I've been given.
Okay, very
Anyways, we're
good.
not here to talk about Christmas presents. We're here to talk about um, turning off site admin mode, and we're here to talk about 24 web components.
Yeah,
And yesterday we built this tree view element, which isn't actually a tree view element. It's more of a JSON view element. I renamed it. This was just out of date apparently.
mm,
So we built a JSON view element, and I think it went okay.
yeah.
Um,
It was fun. It fit really neatly into 1 hour, which was good.
I mean, it's great for the production values. Yeah. So I guess this time we need to think about. Well, we need to fire up the word slot machine.
Yeah. See what we get today.
See what we get today. Right, here it is. Are you going to click it or shall I? That's the same joke I said yesterday. It's
Yeah,
a terrible joke. Here
I
we
was
go.
gonna play into it.
Oh, is it going to fit? No, it's not. Oh, it is going to fit. Tomato timer. Okay. You say tomato, I say tomato.
What? I feel like you're saying both the words wrong.
Yes. Tomato timer. What's a tomato timer?
I think this is like a Pomodoro type timer, uh,
Okay.
but just named in a more fun way.
Oh,
I
it's
like
going to
fun.
make me do the single sign-on dance, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Have you ever seen those like kitchen timers where it's like it's a tomato and you like twist the top of it and it's like a kitchen timer, right?
like
Um,
an egg timer.
yes, exactly. But it's like shaped like a timer,
Egg.
and it's
Pomodoro.
there. There's this like notion of well, tomato timer element. Does that matter?
Yes, that should matter. Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, and so like a Pomodoro, the Pomodoro method is it's like for working, where you like work for, let's say, 25 minutes, and then you go do something else for 5 minutes to kind of like help break up your day. Um, and so a Pomodoro timer or tomato timer would count down from like a maybe you can change it, but like let's say just 25 minutes, and once that's done, it like notifies you to like go and get some water, do whatever, and then and then it pings again like 5 minutes later to be like, all right, let's continue working. I've used it before. I don't use it often, but I sometimes use it when I'm like not I don't take enough breaks, or I feel like I'm not doing a lot. Like I'll just like be head down for like 2 hours, and then I'll be like, I haven't, had any water today, and I'll just be like really dehydrated and feel like shit. It's really helpful for stuff like that. Uh, and some people like the actual timer. It's like very analog, but I think like an element like this, and maybe then like a progressive web app could be really cool. You could like use it on your phone.
Yeah. Right, because there's so many applications on the App Store, the Play Store, the Samsung Store, the Fire TV Store, other stores are available.
Yeah.
They are just they could be there's nothing that requires them to be like especially like have special permissions that, or like have features that aren't um, available on the web.
Yeah. There might be some stuff. I've done stuff with like timing and like background applications that's
Oh
somewhat
yes,
hard on like iOS at least.
yeah,
I think that's changing, and it could be like a service worker type thing in the future. But I think just a simple like Pomodoro type thing here for like using desktop would just be great.
yeah, yeah. So it's a timer. So we're going to do some date math, which is my favorite thing. We want to. What do we want it to do? I guess it's just gonna like have like
So-
a 25-minute countdown as soon as it connects, or is it gonna have a button?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. We can start by just doing like the thing. It's just a running timer, and let's say we could either fire off events or decide what they are, like what the once the timer hits 0, what should happen. I think firing off events could be interesting, and then we can just start with like really the core and kind of like fill up time of the hour with oh, we could add this or we could add that, and like customize it more and more. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that idea. We can. It might be fun to make use of relative time and progress, says NoJo. Yeah, that's a great idea too. One thing I will say about relative time, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead already, but like, to me, this needs like a digital readout. So what I'm thinking is it would be something like, because this is for 25 minutes at a time, right?
Yeah.
So like, the timer is going to look like this, I think. Whoops.
Yeah.
If this renders at all. Is this going to render at all? Oh, this needs inner HTML slot.
Yeah,
So if this is going to read something like this, that's the one thing that relative time doesn't do.
Doesn't do.
It doesn't.
I asked yesterday, which was the first time on the stream, we ever like install anything, use any other stuff, and you were very emphatic about not. It's all vanilla. We don't add anything, any libraries.
Well, yeah, I guess it's the same reason why I start from the boilerplate each time, is that like I don't want to be like draw the rest of the owl. I want it to be like this is the steps that it takes to go from. I mean, obviously it's not an empty file, but it's close enough to an empty file. Like we could add all of this stuff to save time, but I feel like going through the motions in these streams is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess the same is true for relative time in that regard as well. Like relative time, we could extend relative time. I mean, maybe that could be a thing. Maybe a pull request to relative time. You have 25 minutes to make this.
Yeah, then we'll get a 5-minute break, and then another 25 minutes. We're done.
All right, 25 minutes from now is let's see, timer. I'm gonna do a timer. Oh no! Why is it iOS? You type in timer, and you don't get the clock app. Can someone please fix that at iOS? 25 minutes start. All right. Okay. So, do we want a button? Did we discuss whether or not we want a button?
Let's just skip it for now. Like,
Okay.
I think we should
just on the
start.
connected callback, we'll start it. I'll factor in that one day we might want a button, and so we're going to have a start method. I think what we can do is we can say new date should be date.now plus 25 minutes, which is 25 times 60 times 1,000, because there are 1,000 milliseconds in a second, 60 seconds in a minute, 25 minutes.
Sure.
We have the date facing into the future, because then we can just count up, and while current date less than this date, next tick.
Yeah.
I guess we'll.
You say ticks, which makes me think we need like what is it called? Set timeout or set interval?
Right. They're kind of so the set interval API is not the best API to use. It's generally a good idea to avoid using set interval, and the reason is because set interval, the timing functions aren't perfect, but that's kind of irrelevant. But what can happen with set interval is you're kind of guaranteed that it's going to happen. Say you set an interval for every 1,000 milliseconds. Like let's do this. Like we're going to call this.update, and we're going to call this.update every second for 1,000 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Hello, DNT&T. So calling this set interval, what can happen is you're kind of guaranteed that like over a space of 5 seconds, this should be called 5 times. What might not happen is that it's called at milliseconds 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000, especially depending on how long the update function takes. It's very unlikely that ours is going to take more than 1,000 milliseconds, but what can happen is you get this tight batching where your computation takes longer than it does to update, and so you get this ever slight lag, or you get this like it will flicker for a couple of seconds. So generally speaking, I like to avoid set interval. Set timeout is kind of a better function because then you can also control when the next step happens. And so if we look at like an update function, let's say we do update with a traditional set interval, the equivalent of that would be do the update and then set timeout this.update 1,000. This is kind of the sequence of operations of a set interval. So depending on how computationally expensive this is, especially if this were in a tight loop, this could be problematic. What we can also do though is with a set timeout we can change it, right? So we can actually say we'll queue up the next one and then we'll do a bunch of work. So we know that the next one is going to happen in that like period of time. Like if we know that this is going to take 20 milliseconds, we don't want that 20 milliseconds latency to be added to our timeout. So we want to set a timeout and then we can do our synchronous work. And then rather than doing the synchronous work and then saying to the browser, by the way, in 1,000 milliseconds I need to do more work, we can effectively say, by the way, in like 9,800 milliseconds you should be calling this function again.
Right.
Something like that. It also means that this can just be like this.update, because what we can do is do the update in here.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do as an update? We're going to... So I guess we want to take the time. So this is going to be remaining. We're going to get the remaining seconds, so we need to call getTime, which is the gets you the number of milliseconds. We also need to negate date.now from that. So take the current time, take this time, which we know is a future time. It's 25 minutes in the future from when this thing started, and so this should give us a positive integer. If it doesn't give us a positive integer, we can say like if remaining less than or equal to 0, we know we should end. So we can just like end. Whoops, and oh no, end. We'll do something here.
Yeah.
The problem that we have now is that this set timeout is going to call update again, even though we've opted for an early return. But this is and again one of the benefits of doing this is that like we can hoist this up to the top of the function, and now we have like a slightly better way of handling the cadence issue. But actually we have full flexibility of where this can be done. So we can move this down here, but then we can still do our update stuff here, and then we've done a little bit of computation to know whether or not this timeout should be triggered again. And so I think we'll do the update code here, and I guess what we're looking to do is we take the remaining seconds and we divide them by 1,000. We take the remaining milliseconds and we divide them by 1,000. We also want to take the that just gives us the number of seconds but that will be a number greater than like the first tick of this. I mean, I tell you what, let's see what happens. So I guess if we said the render root inner HTML is going to equal seconds.
I think you probably want like math floor on that, but I'm interested in seeing how this renders.
Yeah, you're quite right. So we're getting a bug, and I think,
So timer isn't defined.
yeah, this is just this isn't necessary except for TypeScript makes it necessary, I think. Or maybe it is necessary. I've never really thought about it. Maybe private fields need to be defined in the constructor up front. So DNTNT says, just for curiosity, for game engines that use set timeout, it's also common to calculate the delta time between each game loop and to properly schedule the next frame and the passing delta to the next frame and to facilitate interpolating functions. Yes, exactly. So actually, if you are in a very sensitive timing loop, the best thing to do would be to use something like request animation frame. What that will do is it will give you it will schedule a task to be run before the browser is about to render the next frame. And what you can do with that, you'll get the timing info as well so you'll get the delta between the time that the request animation frame was called and that the callback was fired. And then you can do some useful stuff with that. So exactly, you can work out how long's passed, you can work out how much time you have, and then you can just negate that and figure out and schedule the next frame. And so that matters a lot for tight loops where you're expecting kind of user input and user feedback. Like if I fire a gun or jump, I expect my jump to last a certain amount of frames or a certain amount of time, and that needs to be very, very consistent, especially in Twitch style games like first person shooters or beat 'em ups or something. So this isn't doing anything because I think we need to just assign this to 0, and that should be fine.
Yeah.
We also, what is going on here? Why we've got the 25.
What is the error in the network panel? What does it say that the 500 error is?
It looks fine. Why is this so bad? Right, there we go.
Weren't you getting a 500 earlier? Am I being dumb?
Yeah.
But yeah, you have you persist the logs, so
right.
This is all working. There's no error actually.
Well, is it? We
so
call this .start. We call this .update.
Update. I wonder if remaining is just. I wonder if you got it flipped, either the minusing of the date now, or the remaining less than equal. I wonder if we're just returning early.
Oh yeah, I really should have console logged here or something.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
And yeah, you're exactly right. Okay, so so I guess you're right that this is wrong, but this does not look wrong to me. This doesn't exist on number.
Because the timer's a number.
This should be a date.
Yeah.
I guess actually, I mean, we don't need a date, so we could. We just want to do the math on the number, so we could actually make this a number. Okay, so we're still getting end. That is confusing to me. I'm sure you're right that it's the wrong way round, but I wonder why. Oh yeah. It makes sense to me now. Right, yeah, because
okay.
Yeah, we want to. This is a future date, and so of course the number of seconds that have elapsed since 1970 is going to be greater than this one. And so now we're getting
Right.
this, and we're getting exactly what you said, which is that we need to floor this number. So we can floor this, and then we'll get a slightly better number. But of course, this is no fun because I have no idea what 1494 seconds is.
Yep.
I mean, I can guess it's about 24.5 minutes. But, so what we want to do is we want the minutes, and that's pretty easy too. We just want to say seconds divided by 60, and then we can just say minutes. Whoops. Oh my god. Right. This is a problem though. We've now got 24 minutes and 1500 seconds, and that's definitely not true. But we can't take that here because this is the total number of seconds, and so like what we need to do is really say mod 60 here to get the remainder. This isn't really modulo. This is like remainder of the number of seconds when divided by 60. So now we're getting an accurate time.
Did you notice that when this started, it was 25 minutes and 0 seconds, and not 25 minutes and 0 seconds? And you'll notice this once, once it goes down to the single digit, it will it'll just be like weird like that.
And that's
technically correct, but like weird to read.
And well, we could have installed pad left, but unfortunately that module's been removed from npm, right? And that was that was a terrible joke. It's in the standard library now.
Yes.
So if we coerce this to a string, and pad start 0. Sorry, it's 2, and then the number, the character that you want to pad it with.
I think so. Yeah. Did that work? I missed the refresh.
It looks like it worked.
Look at that.
We probably want to do the same with minutes.
Oh yeah.
And so what we might
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Just taking upload. I was about to be like, oh, maybe do we? And then I think that makes sense.
So I'm just going to const these up to make this line a bit nicer. So this is going to be minutes display, and here we want minutes. And we could do the same here. We could modulo 60 this, because we might want to display hours later. So I'm going to be lazy and not edit it. And it still works, and we can figure out later if we want to add hours. Cool. So I guess now, whoops, I don't know how I managed that one. I guess now we just sit here for 25 minutes to confirm that our library is working.
There's a couple things.
Yes.
Where we could take this. One is lowering the number down to like 3 seconds or something. I'm also interested. I haven't watched all the streams, but have you ever written like tests for components? Is that something you've done?
I haven't written tests for a component. I didn't think it was the most engaging thing.
Okay.
But we could certainly look at it. This boilerplate does come with a test suite that we could run.
I'm just spitballing. I don't know what you in the chat wants to do. I'm not particularly fond of doing tests. I don't think they're a lot of fun, and I don't do a lot of them. But I'm trying to be better, and I'm just wondering if that's interesting. We could also just put this into like 3 seconds and see it go into the negatives.
Yeah, I definitely think we should do that. I mean, I can just take this to like 3 seconds. Did you see? Was there lag? It. Did you see it missed 2?
Yeah.
Why?
So you can see in the logs, it starts with 3,000. It doesn't do 2,000 because it's slightly longer. Between those two log points, there's 1,006 milliseconds.
Yes.
And then you floor that. We go down to 1,000 from 1,994 down to 1,000.
So we might want to consider rounding it. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? If we rounded it, the problem would be that very low value. We might end up with the other way around, where I mean we shouldn't do, but if this were called at a point where we were less than 1500 milliseconds away, we'd end up displaying the same seconds twice.
Yeah,
You can see how, even for this simple demo, these timers, this set timeout is very much not accurate, and it's like with 3 milliseconds out here, we're like 11 milliseconds out here, and then we're 18 milliseconds out here, and it seems to be increasing as well in each one.
Is that because of something we do, or is it just the nature of it?
It could be that this is an expensive operation. I think more than likely is that it's just the browser is doing whatever is convenient for it. And right now I am streaming and using software encoding, so my CPU is relatively taxed, and so it might be just on a less taxed CPU that this is less aggressive. But this is certainly the problem that we're seeing. If we wanted to look at a more sophisticated API for this, we might want to set a timeout for a shorter period and then start requesting animation frames on the run up to the actual time. We're not. What do you
think about? Sorry.
I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to round these and forget about it, and we can watch it too.
Is it round? I thought it was ceiling. I thought you wanted ceiling. But
ceiling will take, unless it's exactly 000. Ceiling will take any of the any decimal places and just crank them up to the next number.
Okay.
So if you had like 3001, divide that by 1000 and math.ceiling, and you'll go up to 4000. That's definitely not what we want, because we will end up with double seconds. Round is a happy medium. It is like, if it's 1500, it would be 2000. If it's 1499, it would be 1000.
Nice. I noticed that we call end before we display the 0.
Yes, and so we want to do something different for end, right? We want to like display something entirely different, like even if it's something as simple as some text. But I mean, this isn't a Pomodoro timer. This is just a 25-minute timer.
Yeah.
And we've got 6 minutes left. So I wonder if a start function could have a time. And this is going to be a number. And we're just going to do this. And then, so the start here is going to be 25 times 60 times 1000. As you can see, this is working still. And then when we hit the end, we can think about maybe representing this as a property somewhere, but like there's like a tick and a tock in the Pomodoro thing, right? It's like the 25 minutes and then the break.
Yeah.
And so maybe we call this dot start here for well, is it 5 times 60 times 1000?
Yeah, that's what I've done. And like you said, we can read these from like attributes later, but it's fine to just hard code it now.
Right. And so if I change this to 3 times 1000, we'll say it ticked down to 3 to 0, and then it goes back up to 5. Oh, that's interesting. What happened there?
What? Sorry, I missed that.
It's counting from 5 minutes for some reason now.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, because we don't want to round this. We don't want to round the minutes. That would be a terrible idea. I don't know why I did that. That would be an absolutely terrible idea, because then if it's more than 4 minutes 30, it will start displaying. Yeah. Okay, so we got the 5 minute countdown, but then of course we need to go back to the 25 minutes, and so I think maybe
I think you're doing what I was gonna say. We should do.
So we can say, I don't know, mode
Yeah.
can return tick, and the tick seconds is going to be, well, it's going to be 25 times 60. And the toc seconds is going to be 5 times 60. And then this is going to be this dot tick seconds times 1,000.
And you want set mode, probably.
I want a set mode, yeah. So set mode. And we need to, I guess we either need to make this an attribute or we can make it a private field. And so we can say mode equals tick.
Yeah.
And this is going to return this mode. And then this is going to set this mode.
It's, yeah, this dot mode equals value. You're just going to take it out.
Yeah. Oops, value. And value is either tick or toc. And then here we want to say if this dot mode is tick, then we're going to, oops, we want to set this dot mode to toc, and then start the timer, but
with the tick seconds.
with the toc seconds.
Oh,
right?
yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Also, if this mode is toc, and then we want to do something different. I guess we just do this ad infinitum.
Yes. Well, that's where like maybe a pause button or a reset button could be good. But we can just for now just like ad infinitum. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is kind of better up in here. Yeah. But yeah, here we are. So we've got a countdown, and if I change this to 3 again, and let's change this to 8, just so we can see. So we've got 3 seconds, and then we're in the toc mode.
We're at minus. Is it?
Well, that's very interesting, isn't it?
You're saying seconds.
Oh.
Don't you have to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to refactor this a bit. So 3, 2, 1, 8 seconds.
And then 8.
Yeah.
And so let's look at it. Go back to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, we might want to also just think about having it hang on the 0 for a second. I don't know if that. Do we care?
That'd be cool.
Is that philosophically how do people feel about there being a 0 second?
I think that makes sense. I think I like that personally, but it's not like a deal breaker. What I would really like to do is this could be either. Well, no. I think in the end, when we end, I want to send a notification to the user's browser.
Wow. Okay. Oof. Okay. How are we going to do that? Because we need service workers, right, for that.
No. You need that for push notifications. You can do just normal notifications.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I could.
That's 25 minutes. I believe we built a Pomodoro timer in 25 minutes.
Goodbye. Let's just tag up the phone.
Let's do push notification or regular notifications. You'll have to guide me through it because I have zero clue on how to do notifications.
Here's the secret that every senior web developer does. It's they go onto Google and they search for MDN and then the thing that they're trying to do.
Fine.
Because I can't remember this either. I've done it once or twice and I never remember.
Okay, so we've got a notification constructor, notification permission.
I think it's just like new notification, and maybe you give it
Call
like a
request
string?
permission.
Yes. Also play a sound when the time is up. Yes, I think that'll be good. Although
Ooh.
it's interesting, like I think you can configure your OS or your browser to be like play a sound with the notification. So maybe it's already built in, like, and so people can like tweak that however they want, right?
Okay, so
I think you should try in your console just to do like new notification and just see what it like yells at you for.
notification. Well, it's gonna yell at me because okay,
One more try.
that went nowhere. I mean, I'm guessing that no one is going to be able to see my notifications, but just so you know that I didn't actually see one anyway.
Okay.
Maybe I should look at the API for the notification constructor. Yeah, it's a title, it's a string, so it should have shown at least something. But I'm guessing there must be a way to dispatch a notification as well, right?
Examples.
Let's look at the source code of this Imagotchi. Imagotchi. I think it is a permissions issue, no, Joe. Yeah, and DNTNT.
Okay.
Let's see. So So here's the new notifications, and it has a close timer as well. But other than that, yeah, it seems like maybe it is request permission. So let's try that. So notification request permission. Okay, you can all see that on the stream, hopefully. Yeah, it looks like it. So if I click allow, if I call request permission again, oh wait, whoops.
Yeah, I think now we'll just be like, it's
I get granted back. Cool. Okay, let's deny my notifications. Let's reset permission. So if I call this and I block it, it's denied.
Yeah.
And then I guess you can request permission when the timer starts. Says no Joe, and DNTNT says yes. That is what I was thinking as well. So we can call here. I guess if we make this, well, maybe we want to. I think I'm getting into my architecture head where I'm like, would it be? Do we want to expose that promise to someone who's starting a timer if they're using this as an API? And I don't think that is the case. I think we would want like a separate section around requesting permissions. So I think I would probably say I would have a variable called notification permissions, which is an empty string at the moment, and then I would make an async iffy if notification, if not notification permissions, notification dot request permission. We're going to await that. Oh, I guess it was granted.
Sorry?
I guess it was granted.
Yeah, so you need a semicolon there on the update.
Yeah.
After the update, I should say.
Oh no.
Or there, yeah.
I've gotten bitten by the semicolons. The first semicolon I've typed on the stream.
Yeah, it prompts you. The timer did start though. Like it didn't wait for you to accept the notifications. Did you see that?
Yes, that's I think what we want. I don't want the timer to be dependent on answering this question. Maybe you think otherwise.
No, that's fine.
I'd probably even kind of hoist this out, especially now that I've seen a semicolon that's completely untenable.
I will say you don't have to check for if notifications isn't set already, because there's no harm in calling the API again. It will just return like
this is very true.
Granted.
Yeah, that's very true. So I want to call this and forget about the result. So this isn't actually gonna. I'm not gonna await this.
Right.
And instead, I think just by the time, hello, we got an error of some sort.
I think it just needs to refresh. No.
I changed this to a
okay.
regular function. It says it's never updated. It is updated. It's updated right here.
Well, it's never read, right?
Yeah,
like you
that's true.
said it, but you never read it.
Okay, well, let's read it then. So on the end, I guess we want to say if notification permissions, new notification. I just realized maybe I'm being overly cautious here because when I ran new notification,
It just didn't do anything.
it didn't do
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. But actually, I have the permissions. Do you know why? My do not disturb is on. Now I'm getting them.
Oh,
I had do not
don't
disturb
think
on.
I don't think we could see it on the stream.
You can't see it on the stream, which is what I feared as well. But I am getting them. You just have to trust me.
Okay.
I get.
Yeah.
It's got the little Chrome logo. It says activate in settings, and it says hi. And if I click settings, I go to the settings page.
Yeah.
But so if my permission is blocked, reload the page. Yeah, nothing happens. But I don't get an error, and so I think maybe we don't even need to guard. We can just make a notification anyway, right? And then because of that, we don't need to hold any information about this. We could just call this. We don't even need to await it or anything like that. Like,
But just like if you want to show notifications, show notifications.
otherwise don't.
Whatever. Yeah.
So talk is up. Well, tick is up. Tick is up.
Yeah. So I don't like the tick and talk terminology. It's like work and relax almost,
Yeah.
or it's like a break, work and break. So you could be like,
Time for break.
time for a break. Yeah.
And then, oops. Back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So it run out. Oh yeah, I denied permission, didn't I? Reset permission. Reload. Allow. Okay. I got a notification. It says time for break. Let's dismiss that. And now it says back to work. That's great. Can we enact on? Oh, time for break. Hold on. I gotta have a break a second.
I think the back to work text should be.
All right, back to work. I was gonna ask you if we should. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, time for break. I gotta. Just a second. My break's nearly over. It's union rules. Union rules.
Yeah.
Okay, back to work. So, should we wait for the notification to be dismissed? But sorry, time for break. 1 second. Should we change these times now?
Chat. This is how it is to work with Keith.
This is every day.
Endless.
Every day.
Oh.
Yes. Should we wait for the permission to be the notification to be acknowledged before we continue?
That's interesting. I almost said if I was building this,
You are.
but we are building this. So I prefer for the thing to just like keep on running. Like I don't want to. I'm just like, oh, time for it. I'm just getting up and leaving. Like I don't want to be like, oh, unless I hit this thing, the timer starts. This is just like a running thing, and it's just letting me know like, hey, go do this. And I'm like, all right, I'm just like gonna type this sentence and commit this and push it, and then I'll go. I don't. Yeah, it's. So yeah, it's just a little like, hey, go get some water. I want to interact with it as like little as possible, I think.
Okay, so we don't need to do any more then. I was gonna. wait, but I guess one thing we need to do, because I have just thought of an idea as my notifications are stacking up in the top right of my screen, is we need to dismiss the notifications somehow. And I think I saw that earlier in this example. So after, where was it?
Yeah, they have a set timer.
Right, and so maybe we should time this out. We should certainly keep track. I wonder as well, actually, because it seems as though they have some kind of default timeout. Maybe that's just my operating system. But I wonder if we could keep the notification running and change the text with the timer.
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. If like you get the notification object back, and so I think you can do that. I don't know about re-triggering it. You said a bunch of stuff. I've looked at notifications a lot, and it's mostly been in web push notifications where you can do a lot of this kind of stuff. Where like you can, if somebody, the use example is like if you get push notifications to your laptop and your phone, and you dismiss it on your phone, you can push a dismissal onto your laptop.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool.
And I think these work very similarly, except for like it doesn't go through a service worker, and so it doesn't have that like it can't run in the background, and like it can't get that like push from a server. But otherwise, the API should be the same. So I think you can get the notification, and I think you can change it and close it, and I think there's a callback for if somebody clicks on it, you can do something specific about it. It's very powerful, I think, and I think because notifications are mostly useful in terms of web push notifications, and they don't work on iOS. I think this part of JavaScript people haven't really looked into that much, but I think it's very powerful and very, very cool.
That is cool. I'm thinking, why don't we have a running timer then? And I'm also thinking, I was thinking about this.
Oh, you want to update the notification to show the timer in there?
I want the timer in the notification. And I was thinking, I wonder if this could show the work mode. I wonder if we could assign this. Wait.
I will say before we start doing something grand that according to my time it's 9 minutes until.
I don't think this will take.
Okay.
I don't think this will take longer than 9 minutes. I think what I want to do. I want to make a new notification. I want to update the body, but it's read only. Is there no way to like change a notification?
I see there's a re-notify over there. What else? Okay, requires interaction. That's your dismissal. Your operating system like dismissed it after a few minutes.
Yeah.
I know on Mac OS it will like be like there's dismissing like there's the state where like it shows up and then it slides back out. But if you open up like your command center or message center or something, it will be there, so you can like click on it. So there's like dismissing and dismissing. It's slightly complicated. But yeah,
it has actions as well.
Yes, yeah, very, very powerful. Where you can be like, do something, and it will just, you have callbacks. Maybe I said the wrong thing, and maybe you can only update. Maybe you can only update push notifications. Maybe that's wrong with me.
It looks like there's no way to update the title unless there's an instance method, but no. So we need to show new notifications each time, I guess. We're kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, could we do the same thing as you saw in that example where we like actually close it after some time?
Yeah, we definitely can do that. So we can
Again, I
say-
don't know how you're because you're on a different operating system. I don't know how that.
Yeah, mine
they
seemed to do that already.
Sorry,
Mine seemed to do this already after a few seconds.
it just goes away and never comes back.
Yeah.
okay.
It's not in my history either.
Oh, okay. Then maybe this isn't needed. I don't know.
I mean, it's happening now. Either way. There we go. I'll just wait 50 seconds and I'll get another notification.
Yeah.
I think we're in a good place here, really. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's...
Yeah. This is like I would use this. Like I would maybe want a pause button, but I would use this like in a second.
Okay. We can add a pause button. I'm sure we can add a pause button. Let's get our display element to begin with. We're gonna get the render root. Query selector. And no div. Let's replace. So we're gonna have a div here, and we're gonna have a button, which is a pause button. And I'm gonna go to feather icons. I don't know if anyone's seen feather icons. These are awesome. There's just like a bunch of really cool, free, open source icons, and I'm sure that it will have a pause one. Here we are, pause.
Sure.
Download that. Downloads, pause. Whoops. Okay. Dots. So we could just yeet the contents of that right into here. I wouldn't say this is the best idea for a scalable web application, but for us it'll work. Of course, we're blowing away the HTML because we're resetting it each time. So this needs to change to display.innerHTML. Which I guess will be we could also change it to text content.
This content is undefined.
This because this doesn't return. We'll just put a bang there as well. Okay, cool. So we got a button. Let's add event listener. Click. We'll just pass in this, and so we have a handle event method, which gets an event.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah,
would
we need
want to
state
do-
now for like.
Yeah, we want to set a timer. We want to set a timeout ID, which is going to equal 0. We want to clear the timeout. Timeout ID. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit more complicated because if we're pausing, we need to know. We need to know how to resume. Like, it's no good just pausing, even though it's actually not even working. Why is that not working? Oh yeah, because I haven't set this timeout ID.
Yeah.
So this is going to be this .timeout ID equals set timeout. So now if I pause this, that's great. But now if I resume, we somehow need to know the remaining time and kind of freeze it so that when we update it, we're not left with like skipping forward a bunch.
You could, you could, when you hit the pause button, it just adds a second each time in the update until you're on pause.
We could do that. We could also refactor this.
You said the R word with 2 minutes remaining.
I did say the R word with 2 minutes remaining. I think maybe a pause button isn't a thing to do with 2 minutes left.
No, I think we should. I was just mentioning it. I was like, pause button would be nice. I wasn't saying we should do it.
Well, maybe this is homework for our viewers. I'll leave it at this.
Yeah.
I need to set up co-working. I'll push this up, and if anyone wants to, DNTNT says accepted. If you want to implement the pause feature and submit a pull request, that would be amazing. And I'll publish this. I'll make this one a priority. I'll publish this one to NPM, providing the package does not exist already.
You can always do it under your scope, like add keyboards.
That's true.
Or
I
open.
was hoping to publish these unscoped or like. I don't feel like I have ownership of these. I feel like they are the communities. They're the streams. Maybe I should create a 24 web components scope, and we can all have access to it. Cool. Well, I think that was a fun little jaunt.
Yeah.
It's just a scope, no worries. Yeah, no, you're right, DNTT. Okay, well, tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow's another stream. Thanks very much, everyone, for hanging out again. And I'll see you all around tomorrow for more Web Components fun. Bye-bye for now.